Hello, welcome to everybody on board today. It is May the 23rd, 2023, and today, that was me actually opening the, checking for the fire exits. I wasn't trying to take off with my own hands. And today, after 18 months, we've been in Azerbaijan, in Baku, for 18 months. We are now finally leaving, and we're going to be heading towards the capital of Turkmenistan, which is Ashgabat, which I'm sure you all knew. And we're going to be flying over the Caspian Sea, and we'll be entering Turkmenistan from the other side, skirting along Iran. We won't be going into Iran unless I, make a slight error, which, may as well happen, may happen. And we're going to be heading towards the capital of Turkmenistan. And as you can see, our co-pilot is the incredibly talented baking goddess, Dona Tarte, who made a name for herself as an incredibly talented drag queen, who, in addition to streaming games, hosted some fantastic bake-offs during the lockdown years, and also hosted the first ever drag showcase at TwitchCon Amsterdam last year. And in just a few moments, we'll dim the lights and get ready for takeoff. Buckle up. Remember, in case of an emergency, you are in a metal tube being shot through the sky at extortionate speeds. So good luck. Hello. Welcome to Jetstreamers. How are you doing, Dona?
Oh, I'm feeling fabulous. I have been waiting in this lobby for hours. It's so hot. The queue was awful to get on this plane, but I'm feeling great.
Did you not get a priority pass?
No.
Oh, must have got lost.
No. Yeah, I'm sure it did get lost in the mail. I'm doing good. How are you keeping?
Doing very, very well. It's been so long since Jetstream has been on, and I've been chatting with you months, being like, oh, I need you on when we bring it back. I need you on.
Yeah, you really wasted a lot of my time. I'm very excited though, because as you announced the opening saying that it was October 2021, I believe it was October 2021 that I last did a bake-off, and you just reminded me how long. I feel like we've just frozen in time,
It doesn't mean, 18 months. It doesn't feel like 18 months.
No, that's a couple babies, isn't it?
That is 2 babies. There are people around, like, in this community who've never seen a Jetstreamers before.
Oh my God, they're 2.5 years old.
Yes, that's right. Are we ready to take off now?
Oh, so excited.
Yes. AI, turn it off. AI is already enabled, but let's just go ahead and we will start off. We're about to we're just going down the runway now, not in a straight line, unfortunately, but as long as we go up, that's all that matters. Oh geez, must be windy. Right.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, don't worry, this is not Ryanair.
Whoa.
There we are in the air. Finally leaving Azerbaijan, which we landed on with we landed in with Wreck-It Raven back in October 2021. So it has been a short while, but at least we're in the air now. That's the main thing. Well,
you know what? It's unfortunate because I am a fan of Baku, because actually all my studies are there, knowing that it is 28 meters below sea, which makes it the lowest lying national capital in the world, and also the largest city in the world below the sea level, which is what I just said twice.
I was going to ask you like what you knew about Baku. The only thing I really know about Baku is once a year they have somebody there that reads their Eurovision results, and also there's a Formula One event.
Oh, funnily enough, in Baku you can drink alcohol except in places of religious purposes.
Oh, well,
yeah. I did a lot of studying for this.
Brilliant. I'm really, really impressed. But yeah, I'm going to go straight into the questions, because we've also got lots and lots from the community who want to ask you a bunch of things.
Oh,
but
okay.
In the words of Maria from The Sound of Music, let's start at the very beginning. Why did you decide one day that you wanted to stream?
Honestly, I'm stalling. So I was a poor, broke student who was in the middle of doing a baking or culinary degree, and or finishing up one, and I had very little time to bake in a baking degree, weirdly enough. Very little time to bake, very little time to do makeup, which I'd been doing for years, very little time to play games, and also I really loved streaming. I streamed a little bit back in the Justin TV days, and also on YouTube a bit. But one day I'm just like, you know what, Twitch is there. I've got a super amazing computer. I've got 1 hour. Let's put everything into one. And that's why I did it back in August 2019, I think.
2019. Wow, that is quite a while ago. And where did your interest in drag come from?
Weirdly enough, right? Okay, I don't know if there's any Irish in chat, but there or in the oh jeez, if there's
Yeah.
any Irish listeners out there,
Yeah.
but there was this drag queen called Shirley Temple Bar, and she was a bingo, like she used to do bingo on the telly, and back in I think it was like 2002, 2003, she used to do it in drag on television before Catholic Ireland said take it down, please. For me, 2 years felt like 10 years. I remember watching her all the time thinking, this is so cool. She's this redheaded Irish one. And I loved it. And also Dame culture is also quite big here as well. So
Okay.
dames and pantos and things like that. And I loved Britney. Oh, loved Britney. So
I haven't seen any of your Britney. Have you done Britney drag?
you've never seen me do Britney. I do a mean Britney mix. I start from Toxic all the way down to Circus.
Like dressed as Britney?
Yeah,
I need
my
to
head is Toxic and my toes are Carnival Circus.
I need
That's
to.
the mix.
I definitely need to see this.
They call me the tap dancing Britney of Dublin. So.
The tap dancing Britney of Dublin. That is.
She loves tap dancing as well because she's from the country,
Mhm.
Britney Spears. Yeah,
You've even got the voice nailed as well.
thank you.
Why do you enjoy streaming? What works for you?
Who said I?
Yeah.
I enjoy.
Well, you're on a little hiatus at the moment, aren't you?
I mean, I'm kind of coming back from. I love it because it's kind of got that quick reaction, and also like half the time I'm playing games, I'm sitting there thinking, God, does anyone want to watch me sitting in drag playing games? And I don't know. I like it so much because of the connections it has to other people, and especially sorry, spoilers from moving. I feel like I've just got to know so many people from it. Initially I think I did it just for my own ego. And then over time, it was like the community and the people that I was like, you know what? This is worth it. Like, it's literally just having a chat. It's lovely. I love it.
Do you still keep
so
in
much fun.
contact with your community when you're not streaming?
Geez, this feels like therapy.
Treat it as it's free.
There's set off my Alexa. I see. Stop talking, Alexa. Sorry, she's really wanting to get involved here.
Ours does that as well. Like putting it in the streaming room was a bad idea.
Bad idea, great idea. Love it for
Yeah.
timers. Anyway, I do. I play games with a lot of mods as well. I play games with all the time, and most of the people I chat to on like Instagram and stuff are people who I've met through stream. Most of the people who I'm friends with in London are from stream. So like viewers, mods, everyone. Unfortunately, they've just infected me, and I can't get away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you find streaming right at the very start?
Oh, it was awful back then. It was the dark ages, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
Like you've been streaming since 2016, right?
yes, but I'm really unprofessional me now. Just quickly pointing out, we're currently flying over a place that I was Googling before, and then I had something immediate. But it is, they call it the most eastern part of Europe, because apparently that is technically Europe.
Oh wow.
I always thought like Istanbul was kind of the most eastern part, but apparently not. This part above us, or below us, not above us.
I love it. It's very I know all these places from Eurovision and Eurovision alone.
Yeah,
you
we are flying over the Caspian Sea at the moment, and the random lines in the water are where the Bing image search has had some issues. They don't actually exist if you go there.
Oh wow. Still a stunning game, by the way. I love it.
I'm on ultra graphics as well. That's another reason why I couldn't put it in like stream from the same PC at the same time.
Oh wow. Well, I'm sorry, my brain blanked out.
No, it's my fault for bringing over, like, changing subject as well. But anybody, by the way, if you're listening audio, like, listen to the audio version of this, just imagine blue sky, blue sea, as far as the eye can see. I was saying, yeah, why? How did you find it at the start? Horrible people everywhere.
Oh,
it
was weird.
Yeah.
29. You started in 2016, 2019. I mean, I streamed back in 2011, 2012 on Justin, and it was rough. It was rough. So I put it on hold, and then when I came back in 2019, it there was already like Deer and Drag Trashly doing drag, and when I started on Twitch, I only did drag. I never did out of drag streams ever.
When you said it
So
was really rough back in 2011, was it rough with the community or was it rough like the quality?
there was no not censorship. Oh, censorship. There was no nothing to stop people just saying or doing anything. And also, I feel like it was just kind of it was around the time that Binding of Isaac I think came out, and I remember playing Minecraft on it and being quite clearly queer young person. It was just quite vicious, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna leave it to Zeldathon and whoever else I was watching at the time. But then when I came back on in 2019, I have thick skin from playing FPS games that I was like, you know what, I don't care. So when I started doing it streaming again in 2019, I was doing it in drag every single time, which was almost like a protective layer as well. So
Yeah.
whenever an insult happened, it wasn't to me, it was to my drag,
Yeah.
which was fair enough because I had a lot of wonky lashes.
I think we've got questions about your drag development later on, but not
Hopefully
about
we
just
won't-
asking about it.
Hopefully we won't run out of time, you know? Maybe I can drag this out. But yeah, it was weird. I think initially when I was doing it, it was very quiet, obviously, because I didn't really know any people. I think I started talking to Miss Cookie Dough and Evo over time, and the Stream Queens, of course. But it wasn't, I only streamed every so often up until Christmas. And then around Christmas, it kind of hit me like why I was doing it, you know? Initially, I did it to just do drag and just to game and just to chat. And then at Christmas, I streamed at Christmas and I had a lot of queer people coming in saying, I'm spending my Christmas here away from family. And I was like, y'all, this got too real too quick. And now I'm like, community, I get it. I get Twitch, you know?
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, I actually did a little stream back in 2014, I think, or 2013. And it lasted about 5 minutes because I realized I didn't have the good enough upload speed. And I streamed, can you guess what game?
Minecraft.
FIFA. I know.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
everyone starts from somewhere. You know?
Yeah, and I was like, why would anybody watch this? Nobody did.
FIFA's a fun game. FIFA is a fun game.
Just because your PlayStation says you can stream, you shouldn't. that was to me, by the way.
Can someone clip that out of context and just put it all over Twitter? You know?
Yeah, cancel on the
you should
first.
doesn't mean you should.
Dear me. What have you learned? What have you learned along the way that you wish you'd known when you first started streaming?
Oh, don't be over burning yourself. You know, I already had the mindset of like quantity over or quality over quantity, but I was really burning the candle at both sides because I feel like when I got the ball rolling, which was predominantly lockdown, I was in drag twice a week. I was doing baking all the time, things like that. But I was really I think I did 5 days a week and I was really running on nothing. And I think things like that, you kind of, although you feel like you're ready to stream how many times a week or do whatever type of content, at the end of the day, like burnout hits you in so many different ways. And for me, I never registered it until it was way too late. And then I ended up having big breaks or delays and whatever. So I wish I could just grab myself by the neck and say, cop on, you know, and just take it easy. No one's rushing you, you know?
Yeah.
That is the biggest one. Sorry, this is the hottest, heaviest question. I'm so sorry. That's like my heaviest answer, I'm sure, by far.
Burnout really is like the number one cause, I believe, of people not streaming anymore.
Yes, 100%.
What?
I think.
Yeah. No. Sorry.
No, I think like lockdown is definitely kind of, well, I feel like a lockdown we had a lot more time. We didn't have responsibilities. We didn't have to be places. A lot of us didn't have people to talk to. So it's kind of like now we've kind of put the bar so high and we haven't changed it since lockdown. So I think everyone is just constantly feeling like failure, I guess, because we're not hitting those same marks we were hitting when we had so much more time.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah.
Rough.
The numbers you get when you're streaming 8 hours per day, every single day, you're never going to be able to get those when you're working full time again.
No, God, no. But you want to believe it. You believe it.
Yeah. I think, yeah. But I mean, streaming also, like, back then during lockdown and stuff, that was your full-time job. I did it for kind of a bit of normalcy because I was on furlough. So it was like just my working day. It gave me some structure to it.
I loved it. Because I kind of just hopped into it I was doing baking. I did one baking stream a week or two before lockdown happened, and I was living in London, living it up, broke as hell, and I got let go from this very fancy 5-star hotel for a bakery, and I hated it. Oh, when they said we don't think you want to be here, I said I absolutely don't. Goodbye. Um, and I went back and I was looking for jobs, and there was this whole talk of a virus and all this, and I flew home for 2 weeks just because they were locking the border or something. So I was like, I'll go home for 2 weeks, let it brush over, and it passes what 2.5 years later until I move back.
Oh yeah.
And in that time, just streaming. Because also on top of the, sorry to ramble, but
Oh.
when I moved home, I brought like 2 outfits, 2 wigs, and a couple streaming bits, and I stole my partner's computer because he was living in Ireland still. And I was just doing baking streams, and I do a little bit of gaming, whatever, but mainly the baking. And Twitch contacted me 2 weeks into lockdown and said, hey, would you like to join the Twitch Drag Development Program, where for twice a week, you go on the front page
I
for
remember
6
that.
weeks.
Yeah.
So it was like 12 front page streams, and it was like, you are just a little, just a little itty bitty streamer who's never streamed and has never been hurt by the world, and we're gonna throw you on the front page for 6 weeks. And it threw me through lockdown. It really, they got my ass together, you know.
That's brilliant. Yeah, no, I remember that clearly, because there was you and a bunch of others who I also used to follow. Like you mentioned, Drag Trashly. Drag Trashly is was the first drag streamer I ever followed and have been for a while. And just they are fantastic. Maybe one day we'll get them on here if they want to. What? Right, where am I? Yeah, what do you like best about streaming? Oh, but no, before that, do you have any advice? Do you have any advice for people that are just starting streaming now?
Stick to what you want to do, you know. I think a lot of times people will jump into a certain game or category that they think this is the way to grow, this is the way to do it. But I've seen so many people kind of burning out because although Twitch's algorithm does favor people who kind of focus on one category or one type of thing, if you are able to do that, if you are not ADHD, short attention span, go ham, do that. But ultimately, I think people can tell when you're just really not feeling something. And there've been many times where like I'll stream something and I'm like not feeling it. It could be a sponsor, it could be a Jetstreamers podcast, and I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah.
But people can tell.
All these lies about, I need a fan. Oh, it's getting too hot. I'm going to have to, go open the door of the plane and jump out.
And I'm just crying off to the side, It's awful.
Yeah.
But I'd say do genuinely what you enjoy, and also connect with people. Don't just kind of stream to avoid and hope for the best. Like connect with other people in your circles, and
people really do appreciate that as well in your communities if you are completely honest about it. Like I've had games where they've sent me a code and I've really looked forward to it and like given up and just stopped the stream after 45 minutes because I was like, I can't. This game is just, I hate it. And
and if you're not enjoying it and you're just very like, ugh, people can tell. Like people can really tell. So and there's no point in just, I mean, if they're paying you a lot of money and you have to play a half an hour of it, go ham. But then the amount of times that I'll see in my Discord someone be like, Dona really hated that game, but get that coin.
But I think as well, like you can, like, if you're getting paid a decent amount for it, you're going to enjoy it. Like, because in your head you're like, well,
eat it up. Yeah.
But I mean, obviously you wouldn't lie about what you think of it, but you can push through it when you think,
it's only happened once or twice that I've ever had to like do a stream that was just really, and it was like, if your full time was Twitch during lockdown, it was cool because a lot of opportunities started to really roll in near the end of it for me. But there have been times where I long in the past, but I think it was so minuscule back then that I don't really think about it. Sorry. I don't know why I keep rambling. My brain is
This is your podcast. I want you to ramble. If you didn't ramble, we'd be just sat here kind of, I don't know, I'd open a bottle of wine. Actually, wait, that sounds quite a good idea. No.
I mean, you said alcohol, so I grabbed vodka with a splash of cranberry.
Well, all I say is I mentioned it, and then Ed looked at me like, no, Ben. So I'm just saying, if there were some like trolley dolly in the back that wants to pour me a glass of wine for the pilot.
Trolley dolly, that is a great drag name for Ed. Trolley dolly, come on. Hurry up.
Yeah, no alcohol. What is this? Ryanair says one of my cabin crew. I don't, if you would like to bring a glass of wine, I will not turn it down. And I'll probably end up spilling it down this white shirt. Let's go into some like more specific questions. These are real, just for you, in other words. How long does it take you to get into drag for drag streams?
Oh, okay. So initially, and this was part of the like whole agreement of the drag development program. The whole point was that we were promoting the beauty and body art category. So when I first started, I do all my makeup on Twitch, like all of it. I didn't for a little bit before lockdown, but I did during lockdown because it was part of the agreement. And like people like Deer and I think Trashly as well were all doing their makeup on stream. And it takes so much longer to do your makeup on stream because you're reading comments, you're kind of looking around, you're not in your setting. So it just generally, like, it used to take me like 5-6 hours on Twitch. But then when I'm to myself, it can take 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Also, during lockdown, I had nubs, so it was like an hour and a half pushing it. It was great. Oh, I miss my nubs. I miss my nubs so much. It was so great. I basically would shave the ends off my eyebrows, meaning I could just go straight up or just glue them. And then for TwitchCon, I shaved them off. I could get in drag in 45 minutes. It was so good. So good. I'd never do my makeup on stream unless it's part of a thing. Because if not, if I try and do my makeup after working, I won't go live until 12 p.m., or 12 a.m.
Does it affect it when you're like behind the lights and it's just like purely heat?
I mean, I do my makeup in front of the lights anyway because they're like, it gives me a good light balance,
Yeah.
And like even TwitchCon, I brought these 2 huge studio lights I had to the hotel room to make sure I looked good.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. It did not work.
It certainly did. I mean, I was quite far back in the drag showcase hall, but it looked stunning.
Yeah. And I'm also like 2 foot, so I was really far.
Yeah.
Really see. Very smooth.
Looking down on everyone. How do you? Do you think your like the drag, like your drag stream vibes, are they different to your streams that you don't do in drag?
So I used to think that I would have like this whole separate persona, right? And like there are drags who I've met who are different people in and out of drag. And it was weird because
this is not wine. If it is wine, then it's diluted a lot.
White wine?
It's gin and tonic. Oh my god, I'm gonna be pissed. We're not landing this without.
We're not crashing, okay?
I'm not probably not going to remember to put the wheels out.
Cheers, pilot. Cheers, pilot.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Amazing. Is that a biggest Bennis glass?
It is the biggest Bennis glass. I love BB.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks to
Good
Moni.
to know. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I know a lot of people who are very different in and out of drag, and for me, doing drag kind of had a weird effect on me because for a long time I wasn't really sure about like gender identity and things like that. And even when I was younger, before I even came out, I never came out, but before I even was very openly queer, my parents thought I was a trans woman for a long time, which, very flattering, very appreciative, great.
Yeah, it's nice that they're open.
They were like, we know
that.
so many like tall trans women, and I'm like, thank you so much. I'm not trans. But I when I went and started doing drag and things like that, everything just felt very like natural. There was no weirdness about it or anything like that. But the one thing that drag did do for me is it kind of made me embrace my masculine side more, which I pushed down quite a lot. So I know a lot of people will do drag and they'll be like, I embraced my femininity. What it did for me was embrace my masculinity. And then with that, I find that when I'm in and out of drag, I don't change that much. I think I'm sassier. I think I'm funnier, but I always think I'm funnier. And I feel more powerful and confident because it almost feels like you have a face filter on all the time. But other than that, I don't change that much. And I don't imagine I put on a voice. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, hi. Or it should be Irish. Hello, hey.
I think of like drag, like I feel like, do people put on voices on with drag nowadays? I feel like it's maybe more of a thing for I think maybe in the past.
Maybe like like
Lily Savage
or James Manfield. Lily Savage is kind of
hello,
but their voice, their whole voice, I don't know. I feel like we're kind of starting to see a lot of drag kind of separating a bit, where you'll have people who are expressing themselves a lot more in their natural beauty for the most part, and then we have people who go down the route of like caricatures and like comics. So like Myra Dubois and like Lily Savage, like you said.
Mm.
But I find them very different. I think I'm kind of down the middle where I might be beautiful, but I'm funny looking. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
Funny looking. There you go.
Funny looking.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely a character. I mean, also the fact that you are tall and you still wear like 12-inch heels.
I used to. I used to until I found out that I don't like them
No.
because they hurt a lot. But last TwitchCon, right? I had these platform white shoes and I wore them and I wore them for a couple of gigs and I thought, this is not pleasant. I went to a drag brunch and this place was tiny, really, really, really tiny. And I remember stomping in and all of the front row blinched and put their hands up for protection. And I thought, you know what? I'm just too tall.
Yeah.
So at TwitchCon, ordered these shoes that didn't have it. They are glorified wellies, and they are so it's just popping on a welly with a zip and a tiny wedge, and I feel so gorgeous, but I look like I'm about to go gardening. It's fabulous. I'm so much shorter I'm shorter. I'm slightly shorter as well. It's lovely.
I was about to say, yeah,
Lovely.
when I first met you, I think was in drag, and I thought, wow, you are much taller than me. This is unusual to have to meet someone who's taller than me. And then I met you out of drag, and I was like, oh, you're not.
Yeah.
Still very tall.
You're old decrepit twink.
That's me. Oh,
When you, I meant me, not you.
Oh
Jesus
no,
Christ.
no one's ever called me a twink. Not since I was about like 18.
No, yeah, I think lockdown has definitely de-twinkified a lot of people. What was I saying? Yes, when we first met, was that Gaming Mag?
That's what I'm thinking, unless we met before it. Yes, because I think that was before. Yes, that was before TwitchCon. 'Cause that was like March, April.
That was a year ago. Yeah, Jesus.
It was.
That was a year ago. That feels like decades ago. Jesus.
Yeah. What? Okay. Well, I'll move on a little bit. Do you feel? Yeah. Do you feel like your drag styles evolved over the years
Oh, for sure.
from high heels to wellies and Crocs?
Yes. And from doing it to just not doing it. No, I think it's definitely evolved a lot because I think it's kind of hard to find your style and find your shape and find your face. And even with drag, I always tell people to try out different people's makeups because you really don't know what vibe you're going for. And although I had a storyboard, I had a Pinterest board, I had everything planned, it wasn't until over time that I was like, you know what, the 50s, 60s, 70s vibes. In fact, you know what it was? When I first started doing drag, everyone kept calling me, and I hated this, they called me a housewife. And I was like, okay, interesting vibe, which is kind of what I was giving back then. But it wasn't until I shifted more into like the 70s, 80s vibes that I was like, this is where it's at. This is the liberation and the illegal substance era, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, took a hot minute. But I think I'm ever evolving because I'm ever growing.
Oh.
You know? Yeah, bigger. Lockdown.
Well, yeah. I mean, the hair.
The hair, yeah. The bigger the hair. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I used to wear lace fronts all the time. Oh, the moment I got a hard front, I don't do drag anymore. I pop on a quick wham bam wig and a welly or two, and I'm out the door. Oh, I love it. Love it.
Still look very beautiful and glamorous.
I think that's the selling point here,
Yeah.
right? You know,
I mean, a housewife can be glamorous as well.
Oh, they can. I felt it was kind of weird being a big old, like back then, being the big old man, being like people calling me a housewife, and I'm like, I don't know, because back then also I was very, my makeup was so feminine, and so I used to get people in my DMs all the time. It was great.
Nice.
I used to be very, very, very feminine and soft, so my makeup was very. You know, I literally looked like someone who was very good at upkeep. I would look like Brie Vandekamp is what I was called all the time.
I won't say that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, just call me a Republican. It's fine. But we have been binging it lately. It is a very good show.
It's really, really good.
It's really good.
Who's your favorite?
But yeah, I hate to say it. No. I think it's Lynette. At the moment, it's Lynette. Just she stays in her lane. She does her thing. I think that Susan is always in the stick of it. I love Brie. She hates me. And then what's the other one? Not Danielle. Gabrielle.
Gabrielle, yes.
Oh, bit of a bit of a pedophile, but I still love the show. I think it's great.
I think the
It's
guy
good.
was way older in the show. Like you can, I mean, he was very attractive.
They started dating at 16. She is a.
Oh, that
Anyways.
character, yeah. I did like Edie, and I wonder
Oh, adore Edie.
if I watched it
Adore.
now, I'm wondering who my favorite would be because I think at the time I was like, oh, Lynette, she's just an absolute mess and has got a like she cannot control anything. But I think if I watch now, I'd be like, oh, I understand her completely. Yeah, I can.
I think actually, sorry to completely divert with this
No.
this Desperate Housewives. I think it's Mrs. Huberman to me is the icon.
Mm,
She is an icon. I love her.
yeah,
Oh, nosy little
yeah.
lady. I love it. Love it.
Okay, let's go into some like your gaming history because you know obviously we're streaming and Twitch and everything is very much open to whatever you want to do. But let's talk about your games. What was the first game you ever played? Now, I know that my partner Ed in the chat did interview you for the gaming mag back in the day. So we will be comparing answers to make sure that they are the same for some of these. What was the first game you ever played?
This was really lovely, and I'm so glad you had me on. Thank you so much. I will just hop out the window right now if that's okay. Take this plane down with me. I think I think I remember playing the SNES quite a lot. I played Super Mario All Stars. I used to play I played Doom on the PC.
Oh,
I played
you played Duke Nukem.
I think
You
so.
used to throw
Not
money,
as
they'd
much,
get the
not as
boobs
much.
out.
No, not as much. I played that later on though. Like,
Yeah.
that was when I was 3 or 4. But no, I played a lot of SNES and then moved on to N64 and things like that. But the game that I was like the first one that I properly got into was just Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Zelda 1 and 2, bit of Minish Cap maybe. Actually, you know what? No. No, yeah, it was. I think it was. All of them, all of them. Zelda was like my number one, and then Ocarina of Time was like the one that made me like change my brain formula.
Mhm.
You know, Sheik being like this androgynous, Link A being androgynous, them earring, elf.
Mm.
Can't say the slurs on stream, but you know what I mean. Like, oh, and then you throw in Sheik, who's like this androgynous, like mysterious person. Ah, God, I love Ocarina of Time. So good, so good.
I feel like I'm missing a part of my childhood by not having Nintendo consoles as a kid. I was PlayStation.
Oh, again, sorry. I had 3 brothers. I have 3 brothers. So we had every console. PlayStation, solid.
Oh,
I think we played a lot of WWE, FIFA, and then what's the other one? The one that isn't FIFA.
Pro Evolution Soccer,
Yes, yes.
which I used to
a lot
always
of
think was
that.
President Evil Soccer. I used to randomly,
Resident Evil 2.
yeah,
I'm so sorry for cutting up.
no,
Resident Evil 2 was like on PlayStation 1. Solid game.
mm,
Those dogs scared the shite out of me. Yeah,
yes,
we had
I just played
everything.
the
We had
demo.
everything.
I had a million demo discs.
Those demo discs, the black
Mm,
demo discs, that had every
yes.
game on it, and then had Bratz World, which I not Bratz, Spice Girls. I always
Hmm.
wanted it. I never got to get it, but yeah, we had everything. We had the SNES. I was talking to my parents about this recently. SNES, N64, PlayStation 1. I think we had the Sega Mega Drive, or like a relative did, and another relative had an Xbox. And then what is that one? Atari. We had the Atari. Ooh, what is it called?
Ooh, the Atari. That was before my time,
No.
I'm afraid.
It's
We didn't have
something
consoles until I was
something.
about 10. I mean, my sister brought over a SNES and I played a bit of Link to the Past and Mario Kart, but I just went and cut the
Oh,
grass. The only thing I did was cut the grass and throw pots
see
or smash pots.
that's like that to me was like the thing. As a kid, I used to climb trees all the time and just throw sticks at people. So like Zelda was it at the end of the day. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter about all that old stuff. No.
By the way, we currently, for those of you who are looking, or for those of you who are in on the podcast or listening to the podcast, and you can't see what's going on, we've currently entered. Well, we're now flying over Turkmenistan. If you look to your right, you will see Iran. If you look far enough, and we are at a cruising altitude now of 36,000 feet. So we are very high up at the moment. I'll do a little spin around so you can see. Let's just pray it doesn't crash. But yeah, there's the Caspian Sea behind us. And yeah, we are currently entering, we've already entered the airspace for Turkmenistan. But yeah, we are currently 220 nautical miles away from our destination.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If cruising, it's on the shelf, but maybe next flight. You
Yeah.
know, I'll think about it.
The
Think about
bathroom's
it.
a bit small as well for anything like that.
Who said there was a bathroom? Anyway,
I mean, it's small enough. You don't. Yeah, get your privacy. What? Okay, I'm gonna skip one question. What are your top 3 games of all time?
Oh, Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask. Sims 2 on the PlayStation, and God, this is tough. God, I hate this. I think I read the questions and then answered to myself, but then didn't answer again. Let's say like Wind Waker. I don't know.
Ooh. So you'd
Wind
say
Waker.
those 2 above Ocarina of Time?
No. Yes, actually, Majora's Mask. Oh, screw the Sims. I'm sorry. Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker.
So what I'm getting is that you like Zelda.
That's all right. Like,
You played
okay.
the new one.
Yes.
And how many hours?
Okay. Now I've got these opinions, right? Like I'm a hardcore Zelda fan. I love Zelda, love it to bits, love everything about it, and I do think that for a lot of people, the way that it's kind of structured, where you can't really escape the route, is kind of, what is it, linear? I guess is the term, maybe.
Yeah.
The way it's
for
linear, the
game,
way
yeah.
it's like quite linear, and then Skyward Sword, they really brought it all the way in, and people hated that. But the way that they kind of opened it so much, I love that the way they did that with Breath of the Wild. I thought it was so cool how they opened it so much, and I thought it was cool because I kind of reined back to Zelda 1, where like you can kind of just go anywhere, and I thought that was really cool, and it had a lot of aspects that I really enjoyed. However, I felt there was a lot of empty space for an open world, and for me as a Zelda fan, I love all that lore. I love all finding all that shite in it, and every single time I found like anything that was remotely interesting. Oh my God, it pissed the shite out of me. Hated it. Hated it. And I used to love them. I used to love them to bits. And then Tears of the Kingdom, I think when I saw it, I thought, okay, it doesn't look that different. It does not look visually that different. It also don't know how it's going to work on the Switch. Not that well, clearly. And I, as someone who delved through every part of Breath of the Wild, the thought of going back through every part of it again, I just wasn't excited. And I think it's a really cool way to go about it. I think it's really fun, and I think it's cool the way they brought in like this Fortnite style building thing. But for me, I'm just not, I want something new. And this is someone whose favorite game is Majora's Mask, which was 14 months after Ocarina of Time using the same assets, but at least it felt different.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I feel like a hater, but if you're watching, I would love a package of Nintendo stuff. I promise I love Zelda, but Tears of the Kingdom, I just not gonna lie, Tears of the Kingdom did not. It's cool. I wasn't excited about it.
No,
you know?
I was a little bit like that as well. But I feel like the story has there's a lot more to it now. I feel like the world's a bit more lived in, whereas before it was completely just sparse. Whereas now it's like you actually have like encampments and people and.
I think it would have been like, I know it's probably not physically in any way possible. It is fascinating, the mechanics of it. Like they've really gone out there with it. But for me, because the visual parts haven't really changed too much, it feels like a DLC, which is fine. But like, I would love if they gave that energy to Wind Waker or Twilight Princess or one of those.
I feel like the lack of like remaking Wind Waker is same as like the lack of remaking Bloodborne. It's like free money. I imagine there's something in the works. There must be something in the works.
They did Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks of the same style, and the style I think derived from Minish Cap. But for me, I just wish that the kind of Twilight Princess was so dark and grim, but I love that about it. Yeah. And I even Skyward Sword, I know people hated on it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was colorful. Music was beautiful. I just wish for the anniversary they did something a little bit different. Even if they just flip the script a little bit or just change the land almost enormously to the point where I'm like, I have no idea what I'm venturing into. Otherwise, I'm like, if I go that way, it's Death Mountain. If I go that way, whatever. And it's like, it doesn't feel like a new game, which I know for many, being Breath of the Wild being their first and only Zelda game, I'm sure it's fantastic. But as a longtime Zelda fan, I kind of feel a little bit like, okay, cool. You know?
I feel like the fact that it's the Legend of Zelda, so it's like being told by people, and that's why every story is quite different. That they could have just done that again and created like a new Hyrule, and it being told by somebody different.
You know what?
Something like that, I
Make
don't know.
Zelda the protagonist, and I would have taken
Yeah.
every single inch of that game, arms wide open, because we had that in the Zelda. What is that called? The Sony system. The two Zelda games they made. One of them you played as Zelda. Um,
Ooh. Zelda,
Sony something
the
something.
Sony. Is it like the Sony Nintendo, like the one with Nintendo?
I think it was like they had like an agreement, and they made two Zelda games. The CDI games is what it
Ah,
was,
okay.
and they had two of them, and they were not amazing. Link: The Faces of Evil, and then Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon. And I'm not gonna lie,
Hmm.
I genuinely, it was the Philips. Yes, it was the Philips interactive media or interactive thingy. Um, I love that she was the protagonist. If they had done that for Tears of the Kingdom, I genuinely think it would have been groundbreaking. You know,
Well,
I would have loved that.
hopefully that's what they'll save for the next one if there's another one in that universe. As I feel like, I don't know, wonder if they'll kind of do what Resident Evil does now, seemingly have like two different things. You've got the 2D, sorry, the 3D, like, sorry, the 3D, they're all both 3D. The third person kind of action ones, and then the first person one, do something a little bit different, like how they brought out the chibi version of Link to the Past. No, it's not. No, it's
Link
not.
Between Worlds. Oh, well, they did it with Wind Waker, and then they had Spirit Tracks while Twilight Princess came out. But I think Wind Waker got a lot of heat. And then when while they were doing all the newer games, they were still releasing Link Between Worlds, and then they remade Link's Awakening, which I thought was fun. I thought it was good, and I missed that kind of stuff as well. You know.
Yeah. All right. This one was asked by, I believe, Devon Bumpkin ages and ages and ages ago, and I was like, you know what, I'm keeping that in permanently. And I apologize if it wasn't Devon. What's your favorite game soundtrack? And you can say your Zelda if you want.
I mean, I do love the was it the 75th anniversary? They did no 25th anniversary, whichever it was. It was 25th.
Really old.
The 25th anniversary. Love that soundtrack. However, I would say because they did the symphony. Oh, stunning.
On a gramophone.
I would say maybe Sims 2
Okay, interesting.
or Animal Crossing or there was this game called Professor Layton as well. And then was it Little Big King or Little King? It was this game on the Wii, and it was all you played this little king and you ran around. You got like soldiers and things like that.
Wasn't
Just
Little
top
King's
down.
Story, was it?
Was it Little Kings? They might have re-released it under something
I
else.
think that's what I played one like that on the Vita. I think I had. It's like
Yes.
Little King Story, if that's the same franchise.
It is, yes, because it was on the Wii, and I think they might have brought it out again for PC. But the music on it, I remember, was all like symphonies or something. It was all like classical music. I thought that was amazing, beautiful game.
The new Final Fantasy remasters have got all symphony music, like remastered. Oh, stunning.
Okay, I will be honest, and I hate saying it because I swear I'm not just a stan. When I was younger, I used to open up Ocarina of Time and just turn it on and just cry because I was queer and young and queer.
I mentioned
know.
this on the Inbox podcast that we did. Yeah, well, today it was released, but like I used to love the music at the end of Wario Land 2 so much that I would just keep reloading it and having to beat that boss. And like I was an absolute pro at beating that boss by the end of it, but just so I could hear the music at the end when the credits are going up.
Because the gramophone wasn't invented. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I get
Back
that.
in the Game Boy days when it was all black and white.
The way you can just Google a song.
Yeah.
Wild.
God.
Kids these days, you know what I mean? Twinks these days.
We had to buy our CDs, singles sometimes. We had to buy, they'd have 2-3 different versions that we'd have to buy because we were so much, such big fans.
Granted, when I was a fan of I think Green Day and I put their album on an MP3, I didn't know they had a last song. I didn't know they had two more songs at the
I
end of the
love
album.
those secret ones.
No, there wasn't even secret. My MP3 player couldn't hold more than 8 songs. So I did not know there was 2 more songs until later. I was like, oh, well.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I do actually miss songs. Yeah, when CDs used to have like the secret songs at the end, like the last song would just keep going, and then you'd hear them do like a ukulele version of, I don't know, Wish I Could Fly or something like that at the end, and be like, oh, that's different. Maybe
Yeah,
use a
and I
different
think
example.
you can sometimes get it on vinyls nowadays, but like, Jesus.
Don't know the Born. Okay, so speaking of being modern and everything, what games are you playing now?
I mean, Tears of the Kingdom, I guess. But in my spare time, I'm playing a lot. I'm playing Professor Layton on the mobile because they've re-released a HD version years ago. But I've been playing it on my phone because, living in London, you can't really
Mm.
go on a tube with any internet. So I'm looking at phone apps now.
Do you have Apple
I
Arcade?
I do, and I got it, and then I'm not using it, and I've just been thinking about canceling it.
What the Golf? Try What the Golf. It's not golf. It's called What the Golf, and it's the best mobile game apart from Marvel Snap. But you need the internet for that. But like What the Golf, and they just released What the Car, and you have to like complete a level by using it's the goofiest, like most ridiculous game. If you download it, it's part of Apple Arcade. If you download it and then like play it for 10 minutes, and then I want you to message me your opinion of it because I think you will adore it. It is hilarious.
Yeah, I'll do it because I've been using Netflix's games. Feck Netflix, but
Oh.
also I've been using their games. They have a similar thing through the app. You can get other games without ads. And then also Necro Merger. It's like a merge mansion style thing, except you're like in a dungeon and you're a necromancer and you build skeletons and things, and you also have boss battles in it. It's really cool. It's really, really cool.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, what was the question again?
Yeah,
What am I
what games are you
gaming? What am I
playing now?
playing?
Yeah.
I've been playing in the last 6 months because I've been very busy. Playing Witcher 3, Zelda.
Classic.
Um, I've gotten Melvin into playing Fable, and then there was something else. Oh, there's a fantastic game which I have had no time to play games, but the games I have been playing are very far few and usually with someone. I've been playing Escape Room Academy with Melvin,
Ooh.
and it's a split screen game. You can play it online or play it on the couch, whatever. And it's literally just escape rooms in like one right after another in this whole story thing. It's really good, especially if you want like some co-op couch bits and pieces.
That sounds really good.
It's really good. I don't know what else I'm playing. I guess Fortnite maybe. I don't know. I haven't played it in months, but that's kind of my go-to just because it's quick, easy, and my attention span can just about handle it.
That's me with Marvel Snap. Like, yeah. A couple of games. Do you ever-
Marvel Snap?
Snap.
Snap, like card games.
Yeah, it's a card game on the mobile. I don't care about Marvel. I don't care about card games, but I am absolutely hooked. And like it won like the best ongoing or the best mobile game or something at the Game Awards last year. It was it
Stop
fully
it.
deserved it. Honestly, if you've never played Marvel Snap, they're doing a Twitch Rivals of Marvel Snap.
No,
Yeah.
they are not.
It's on PC, but it's also the mobile version is the main one.
I'll be
it's-
funny. I've never heard of this before, like ever.
Honestly, give What the Golf a Marvel Snap, and you're going to be hooked. We'll be comparing decks, I'm sure, in no
Jeez.
time.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've been starting to get back into like tabletop things like that. Granted, my job kind of has pushed me in that way, but I'm playing a lot of like Magic the Gathering, and I'm doing a lot more tabletop games and stuff because, yeah, I don't know. It's a slow progression of getting away from video games.
I recommend, Marvel Snap is brilliant. It's also the perfect game if you're just going to sit on the toilet for like 10 minutes. You can get like 3 games.
Oh,
done.
that's good. 3 games. That's how long. Okay.
And
Oh,
not-
actually. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, even if you lose, you still get like progress, and there's like zero real need to pay money. Like Ed's played and he's at level like 1,500 or whatever, like collection level, and hasn't paid a single penny.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go. One thing I have actually been playing recently was also Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, which also had a HD remake and is on Steam now. So I've been playing that as well, and I just forgot how messed up that game is, and I love it. Love it so much. I'm like Annalise Keating, but like, gay. Maybe she is. I haven't watched that far. Sorry, I don't know if she's gay or not.
I got that on the Switch, I think, but I haven't played too much. Just before we move on to the questions from the chat, because I want to leave. Luckily, we're still over 115 nautical miles away from our destination. What future games are you looking forward to playing or streaming?
Gosh, I know so many games have already come and gone, haven't they?
This year's a pretty good year for games. The Spider-Man still to come out?
Spider-Man, yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of I guess being the straight FPS player I am, I guess I'm excited about CS:GO 2.
Mm.
because a lot of people don't know this because I don't really show it on Twitch, but I like FPS games quite a bit. So I used to play quite a bit of Counter-Strike Source, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I played it when it first came out and hated it, but I love it now. But I guess Counter-Strike Global Offensive 2, I'm quite
Mm.
excited about because I feel like the game got a little bit stale. And I'm ready to just have different slurs from different accents in different countries very soon again. I'm excited about that. And I don't know what else is there. Um, I don't know. I
Final
feel like I've just been kind of
Fantasy.
slow with games.
You a Final Fantasy fan? Final Fantasy 16, Diablo 4, maybe 5, 4.
I see. I'm a very, I guess I'm very Irish and that I get quite political around games.
Okay, yeah.
Because I used to be huge fan of like Overwatch. I almost got back into World of Warcraft. But then with everything that happened, I protested and I'm kind of avoiding Blizzard as a whole because I just don't feel like them and Activision have kind of pulled it together. Like I used to love kind of Call of Duty as well,
Mm.
but after everything that happened, I kind of just like kind of pushed it away because, and I like I'd love to play Diablo 4, but mentally I'm just like
Yeah.
I can't. You know what I mean? There's just, and I know so many games companies are probably much worse and have a lot of things going on, but knowing that they haven't done anything about it, I can't really take it seriously. And then Final Fantasy, loved Crystal Chronicles. That was
Really?
my favorite one.
Oh,
I know people did not care as much.
no,
I
I
loved
loved it. And
Crystal
then I
Chronicles.
recently replayed it when they re-released it, and I was like, oh, this is terrible.
They had it on the DS, and it was really good on the DS because you could play with other people, and it was a great game. I loved it back then. Probably terrible now. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Kingdom Hearts, though, I love that. See,
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like there's just not many games that I've been very hyped for, and I guess the ones that I was excited for, sort of Zelda, and then Resident Evil 4, very excited about as well. You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. I'm just sorry, just quickly looking at where we are currently. Yeah, to the right of us is still Iran. I'm trying to work out because this is quite a well. This is near the end of the Golistan National Park, which is why it's so beautiful around here, and very quite a little bit mountainous or a bit rocky at least. Okay, let's go into the questions from the chat. So this is from the community. I don't have names with them, unfortunately, so hopefully you can identify which questions are your own. What has been your favorite thing to have baked on stream?
Ooh, okay. So for me, I love baking. Right, I love baking, but I hate waste. So for me, unless it's something I absolutely love, I dread making it because I'm like, what do I do? Freeze it? And especially in lockdown when you couldn't give food to people because it'd be a risk, I'd be making something, being like, let's portion this down. Let's not make too much. But the things that I enjoyed the most, oh my God, okay, I think it was a Korean Korean. It was like a, oh my God, what was that again? It's like a Korean garlic bread bun. Oh, that's what it was. It was what is it? A brioche, a, a Korean garlic bread brioche bun that was filled with like a sweet cream cheese filling, covered in garlic buttery sauce and cheese, and then baked. And oh my, they were like one of the that and also Korean corn dogs with the cheese. I'm not gonna lie, just
I've
Korean food.
I'm new to Korean corn dogs. There's a place in near my work that I just wandered over to, and I thought this place looks all right. And I walked in, and they had Korean corn dogs, and I was like, I'll try one of these. Why not? Honestly, one of the nicest things I've had. Like I could eat them until threw up. It was so
I
nice.
cried on stream because I enjoyed it so much.
Mm.
You know, so good, so
Yeah.
tasty. I think it's the savory things because I'm being the baker. I've spent most of my time in college and life baking sweet things and breads. So on stream, when I get to do a savory thing every so often,
Mm.
naturally, I think I'm more of a savory person, anyways. But I'd say those two, and then maybe ooh, I think one of my anniversaries. Oh my God! On one of my anniversaries, I think we made a pizza cake where it was just this big layer of just 7 pizzas. Like we made pizza fresh and just made a cake out of it.
Mm.
And then we also made a princess tort that took 14 hours on stream, 12 hours on stream. Very fun,
12.
very
Wow.
exciting, very fun.
And you did that in drag as well. I'm guessing you didn't put yourself in drag
Yes.
on stream at the beginning.
No. It was a long day. And back then
Yeah.
I used to actually I still corset for most of my streams, but I used to wear a very particular corset that I would end up with just like red rib cage bruising every night. It was awful. Oh my God, it was so good. So good.
Now,
Yeah.
this next question, I'm really intrigued to see what your answer is to this. What is something that you will never bake again?
Oh, I will never bake brigadeiro, which is an easy recipe. I've made it several times before. Brigadeiro is this Brazilian chocolate truffle, and it's made with melted chocolate and condensed milk. And you mix it up, and it makes these gorgeous truffles. And I'm so excited to make them. And I used a vegan alternative, and the whole thing went so badly. I had like 38 raids. I was sitting on a great solid number. I had all these new people who were watching me the first time thinking,
Queen of
what is
Bacon.
this queen of baking sitting there going, I know. What I did instead, right? I melted sugar. I melted it to like a soft crack stage. I dipped fruit in it and I ate it. And that was my stream. And I was sweating. I was angry. I was emotional. I was having the worst time. Ooh.
But it made great
'cause
content.
I think that VOD is long gone. I'm going to be honest with you. It has never seen the light of day. I hated it. And that's the problem, is that with the lockdown, for me, whenever I used to bake on stream, I would pre-bake everything and test everything out and get my recipe right. I used to post all the recipe online. But in lockdown, it was very financially costing time. And also, I hate wasting food. So I'd have a lot of baked goods for myself and my parents. So I used to be able to like practice everything and get it all right. But then as lockdown kind of progressed, I wasn't able to really practice as much. So like I had so many more errors. And it's like when your whole brand is on the line, it was so much harder to do them, you know? It was, I felt so goofy. Looking back, I was baking cake in drag on my computer to an audience of homosexuals. Why was I so stressed out?
Honestly, yeah. You've seen, I mean, from your bake-offs, you've seen how, you know, the homosexuals that watch you cook, you know, bake.
Oh,
You've seen how.
Yeah, no, it's fabulous. That's the thing. Bake Off is great because I although it was very stressful, some of them, it wasn't because of my own expertise being questioned. It was just the planning and preparation. But
Yeah.
I do miss them. I do miss them.
So, was it your first bake-off during lockdown?
Yes.
Because I remember being like, oh, just from my name, I might do the Great Biggest Bake Off. And I was going to do it. And then literally a week later, your promo came out and I was like, well, I can't do it. I cannot beat this. And then
Did I ask you for the first one?
No, you asked me for the
Valentine's, which was the second one.
right. Yeah, in fact, we actually have a question about that, which I'll skip to it. Why is Ben's Valentine's?
No, it was not rigged.
This is, by the way, this is not me, by the way, writing this, even though it sounds like I did. Why is Ben's Valentine's cake the best cake you've ever seen? Is it because it was on such low quality video? I think maybe.
You know what? I saw that clip yesterday because I raided
really?
someone, and you know when you raid someone and they shout you and you get a clip pops up. It was you and me reacting to your heart cake, you in 1 frame a second, and it was. You know what? I got to register it then because I don't get to look back on the bake-offs that often. I looked at it yesterday and I thought, you know what? Ben was robbed.
You don't have to say this, but you know I agree with you. I remember one big gossip. It looked quite nice from one angle, but then if I turned it, you realize it was like a wedge of cheese. It was like one side was about an inch tall and the other side was about 4.
I think you turned it too fast because you were just.
Yeah, maybe you didn't see that from the
salt and moon. Salt and moon. No, it was. I felt so bad, but you know what? This whole system, guest star, it's the way to go.
I mean, yeah, literally one of the reasons, like after that stream, I went and bought an iPad was so if I wanted to do some streams, like not attached to my computer, I could actually have something that would record a decent video. So yeah, thanks.
Well, maybe All Stars should happen.
If there's an All Stars, I would please sign me up if I count as a star.
Who knows? But like basically, I think I was. What was it? 2020? Oh, it was 2020. Yeah. So I already spent like all of lockdown baking and doing things, and then I was doing a lot of charity stuff, which I didn't expect to do during lockdown. And doing charity thing after charity thing, and I already wanted to host stuff. So it kind of just boiled down to happening at Christmas, and I think the cast, everyone had already asked about it, and then it all kind of just fell into place. But back then, the lockdown, I just had so much more time on my hands. You know, it's wild.
They were the days.
They were the days, truly.
Okay, I'm going to ask this question. I know this was from Games Mistress, I believe, who was, and a few people have said, yes, please ask this. All that we're, by the way, we are approaching. We are less than 50 nautical miles away from Ashgabat. Where was it? What would you serve at a high tea?
I would serve body. No, I would serve. I hate that. I'm sorry. I would serve
And you'd
probably
leave no
like.
crumbs.
Oh, I would. You saying I clean the plate? Are you saying I eat everything? Then
I just hate the
I'm
phrase
not.
"eat and leave no
I
crumbs."
hate it.
Oh,
Hated it. Because when I used to make TikToks, again, those were the days when I made TikToks. Kids on TikTok would be like, "Dona eat left no crumbs," and I'm
oh,
like, "Excuse me, I put on a few still, but not that many." I was lying. I put on many, but and I did leave no crumbs. But
Same.
I, I think I'd probably make mini meringues, filled with lemon curd, cream, maybe some passion fruit, and like candied lemon on top. Or, I might do like tahini, so like sesame paste, tahini, pear tartlets, maybe. So I love cake. I love
oh,
cake. I love thinking of I love making recipes.
mm.
Action, get someone else to do it and insult them for charity, you know?
Yeah, just try it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to other things now. After you've hosted the TwitchCon Drag Showcase last year, in brackets, incredible, might I say, is there something that you want to achieve with your drag?
Wow.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Oh, face down in a ditch.
In your wellies. At
um,
least you'll be able to get out with your wellies.
exactly. I was just gearing up for it, and my hard hat. I think hosting. I'm not gonna lie. And the start of last year, when I first moved to London, I'd only hosted like once or twice, and I was like, I want to host on the main stage of TwitchCon, and then it happened 6 months later. So my goals are out the window. But I would love to transfer to other media. I'd love to do like television or radio or things like that. And I have had a few
Podcasts?
things. I mean, you never know. But I've since TwitchCon, I've actually had a few things come up that were like cool opportunities that were exactly where I wanted to go, but they kind of just like either fizzled out or didn't happen. But like, at least I know that there are strangers out there who are in those places that can register me at the moment as a person who hosts. So my goal at the moment is to do more television bits and radio bits and just see where the wind takes me. Because at the end of the day, I went on Twitch to get compliments and drag, and now I insult people on stage at TwitchCon.
And then they
So
compliment you for it.
and they compliment me for it. It's great, great.
Um, Here, if you're allowed to say it, what are your plans for TwitchCon Paris?
Oh, burn it to the ground. No, I'm doing a lot less because I'm actually going to be at TwitchCon for once. Because last year I spent 45 minutes on the floor and that was it. So we'll be doing a certain Pride panel with a certain few homosexuals, and I think there's also a drag panel in the works as well.
Let's hope they don't put it at the same time as the closing ceremony like last time.
Oh, I'm going to beg. But those are the two things that I'm involved in. I might be doing a few other bits, but I'm not too sure. Otherwise, I'm going to be floating around. I want to see bits and pieces, and we might have something coming up after, but I'm not. Everything needs confirmation, and we're only 2 months away. Isn't that messed up?
Wait, what? Yeah, I haven't even booked the
It's a month
Eurostar
and a
yet.
half.
Oh,
It's a month that we can fly, I guess.
yeah. I don't like flying.
Yeah.
Even though I live very close to Gatwick, I'm like, no.
You don't like flying?
No.
Okay, good to know. Good
Yeah.
to know.
Didn't even clock. This is a question from somebody that is not me, as you will realize from when I start it. I am a Canadian who has recently immigrated to the UK. Hey, as someone newish to the UK yourself, or new and back, are there any foods, drinks, or culinary experiences that you think I must try?
Ooh. Oh my God. Okay, one thing, right? In Ireland, our main thing is like chipper. You can get like Chinese, not really, but it's
Yeah. Oh, no, you're
fusion
gonna
of
start that.
Irish.
You're gonna set that TikTok, off again.
Unauthentic Chinese food, and then you can get Indian food as well, and that's pretty much the main focus. The one thing about the UK and the thing about London that they do very well, chicken shops. Oh my God. I thought I knew what God looked like until I saw it in a bucket. missing its limbs. It was so good.
And the
And like,
names of the shops are the best, aren't they? They've always got real
oh,
comedy.
oh, it's like Joey Malone's or Uncle Frank's or whatever. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
great, I'll take it. It's honestly chicken chops, fantastic. There is quite a few places in London Central that are fabulous. There is Kova, which is a fantastic Kova. It's a fantastic Korean bakery that do unbelievable cakes and also boba tea if you're into it and things like that. But mainly their cakes, they're quite pricey, but they're amazing. And then also, what is another one that I really love? Uh, oh, there's this place that does deep dish pizza. I cannot remember the name of it though. Frankie or something. I don't know.
Oh. Have you tried
I don't.
Cockfighters? Do you like Cockfighters? They do a good Korean chicken burger with COQ fighters. There's one in Soho. There's actually one here in
Oh, okay.
where I
I
am.
have not seen cockfighting before, but you know what?
Going through it. We'll have a
Every
good
day's a new day.
cockfight.
Yeah, love a bathhouse. Anyway, no, I have no idea. I don't know.
Cockfighters. Two of my favorite things.
McDonald's is fabulous.
Oh, and there's now a Greg's open at Leicester Square 24 hours, or late night anyway.
Oh, God bless.
What bit of Dublin do you miss most now that you've moved to London?
Oh God. Okay. South William Street is this street that is like adjacent to the main gay street, which is Georgia Street. Because the George is like our main bar, and it's South William Street. It's kind of like off the main road, and it has like an old arcade, like an arcade market area, and it's very queer. It's all kind of pedestrianized. There's lots of great places to eat and drink, and it's just it to me is what like the like energy that you get from Dublin. You kind of get a little bit in Temple Bar, which is like the main area, but it's full of like people who visit, and it's full of people who just get drunk and puke everywhere. Whereas South William Street is like it because you're beside pretty much all of the queer bars. You're walking distance of like all the great like queer businesses and bars and pubs and clubs, and oh, I miss it so much because Dublin compared to London is we have a height limit. So no matter where you are, you can see the sky and everything feels like you can feel the wind. But it's just such a beautiful. I miss it.
Is that why it's
I
so
really do
expensive?
miss it. We probably, yeah. I do miss it a lot though. I miss Dublin quite a bit. No.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's always nice to go back home when you can.
Mm.
What has been your best or your most memorable experience on Twitch so far?
Um, I mean, I guess we've already talked about two of them. So one of them was the first Bake Off, and then another one was TwitchCon because obviously it was like the most validating thing for drag on Twitch. Not even just for just UK and EU or whatever, all of drag on Twitch at the time. It was a big monumental moment. I guess another one for me was probably I think it was God, my brain is going. I think it was Bake Off, Dead by Daylight Bake Off I did because I think we raised. I don't even know how much we raised. I think we raised a couple thousand in a couple like half an hour,
And
and
that
it
was
was like
with with Dead by Daylight, with
it was
Behavior, wasn't it?
produced by them, yeah,
Yeah.
because they liked what I did before, and they were like, "We'll." It started where I was going to do it, then they took over. They got a whole production team. They did everything. I gave them basically all of the info and helped them out with bits. I only made like videos for it, and that was it. Otherwise, I showed up and they had like a producer who would just talk to me through my earpiece throughout the whole thing. It was fabulous. But because of that, it was like, had I not started 2 years before, I wouldn't be standing there getting paid to do something that I invented. Not invented, but it came from my own womb.
Yeah. Your
Um,
creation.
my creation, while also raising thousands for charity, was just like a very overwhelming experience.
Yeah. No, I
It was
imagine.
like, I think that was for me like a quite even like TwitchCon, as cool as it was, I didn't register that people were watching except for the stage, and I was just having so much fun. But like, I think the seeing the chat going, talking about this charity thing was just so cool, and like I still haven't like touched the ground again. I still haven't processed it.
Do you have anything in the works at the moment?
I mean, speaking of old things coming back after several years, there may be something in the works, and yeah, bits and pieces projects that I'm hoping come to fruition, and then I'll pull up some new goals. We'll see.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Right.
Toes crossed.
For some reason, it's now saying that I don't know what's going on here, but I might have to just
Maybe
manually.
crash landing. What's happening?
Well, I might have to manually land it myself because we seem to be just going straight
Oh.
past the airport.
Oh God. Okay. Well, maybe we're not ready yet. Maybe some other flight is waiting to arrive
Maybe
in
I will
this
see where it
densely
goes, and
populated place.
if not, if it keeps just going past and past and past, I might have to just might take over. Is it moving? Is it moving?
I didn't get travel insurance in the place that we're about to land into. That would murder us for being queer, but I have not got travel insurance yet.
That it is a pretty much it is. I think I looked at like the press freedom and the freedom of people, and it's the third lowest above like North Korea and somewhere else. So yeah, it's not the best for that.
I think I read, and I don't know if I was reading the right place, but I read that it is illegal for the queer, but you can still get gender affirming surgeries.
Okay.
Wild. It's just so many countries are like that. They're like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. Meanwhile, people are terrified of bathrooms, and it's like, cop on.
Perfect. Right, I'm going to approach. There's approach Cessna. Blah, 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 continue as planned. Nearport. Right, I'm going to try and request landing at Ash. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take over this and pray that it actually works because it seems to be just continuing going ahead, and we need to actually. I need to stop this. Tell us what. Well, someone has asked, croque monsieur or petit four.
Petit four. No comment.
Yeah.
No comment.
No comment. Okay, here we go. This one, hopefully, will have a nice long answer while I go
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
mess around with all this. What elements of your personality and personal style do you like to emphasize in your drag?
My big boot. I think I guess when I talk too much, I make the most of it, and I clip it and make content out of it. You know. Yeah, and then I get paid to talk, which is fun.
And yeah, why did you choose Twitch as the platform for your drag? Was there a reason you chose it over like YouTube and other streaming channels?
I guess at the time, Twitch was kind of like what was popping off the most.
Yeah.
Or like that was where like Stream Queens were. That's where Deer and Trashly and everyone was. So that was kind of like my natural floating to. But now looking back, honestly, glad I went on Twitch, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, I think as much as I like YouTube for Evergreen and TikTok, I just feel like I wouldn't have the same connection to other creators than I would if I was on YouTube or TikTok, you know?
Yeah. I'm very pleased that they're giving me the landing area, that they're giving me the approach. Unfortunately, we're going way too fast. But
I can take the wheel. I can take the wheel if you want.
It's not a wheel, but I can take.
I will take the stick, the mouse.
I'm gonna have that as a tattoo. Dona take the wheel.
Propeller.
What? Oh, okay. Well, this is a very, big question here. Has or how did drag change your life? I'm gonna go around again.
Too fast.
Yeah, no, I'm not going down. I'm not going at this speed because otherwise I think we'll touch and end up taking off again.
I mean, fuck, why not?
Love touch and go.
I mean, it's kind of granted me the opportunity to do things that I've always wanted to do. Because as a kid, I always wanted to do like theater and performing and things like that. But just my career and my education kind of took a different approach. But drag has granted me the opportunity to still perform and still do shows and still get do things like that, even though it was never in my path in the first place. Also, personally, it's made me 10,000 times more comfortable as a human being. And truly, I think everyone should do drag. Like, I'm not just saying this as like a RuPaul. Everyone should do drag. Genuinely, it makes you reevaluate what your true priorities are, especially in a queer community that your looks are your everything. You know?
Yeah.
For sure.
When you do come back, obviously to Twitch, when I'm going to say, would you stick to like mainly drag streams again, or would you be tempted to do like the non-drag streams and gaming? And oh yes, finally we've got some correct speed.
See, it's kind of just been like non for a long time because I haven't had time, but I'm looking at very soon getting back into putting drag as the baking and kind of focusing on that maybe. And then taking things slow a bit,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think although drag is kind of like my whole brand and stuff, it's like imagine you had to put in 2 to 3 hours prep and new looks and new outfits and not just physical pain and tiredness. It's also like gluing things up and shaving things back and
I
constantly
didn't
having
even
to be
do
clean
1 hour
shaved.
prep for this stream, for this podcast.
Yeah, I ate while we were talking. Like
Yeah. You left no
it's
crumbs.
tiring. I left none. I've hoovered them up. Um, I walked so Henry the Hoover could run. But I don't know. I think I'll be doing more baking and drag very, very soon. On the lead up to TwitchCon, and we are looking at doing more charity based events again soon. Which, although my mindset nowadays is if I'm doing drag, I need to be paid for it, and that's just for general events and sponsorships. But I think the charity part is kind of like what's just kind of I don't need paid to do charity.
Well,
I need charity, but I'll still.
Well, I might be able to help you with that in August if you were streaming back then.
Charity? I'll take charity. I'll open up
I
a
work for a
Tiltify.
charity now. See, I wasn't last time I did this. But in August, there might be something.
Oh my gosh. I'm excited.
By the way, we're just about to land. The last time I tried this, the button for the brake, for some reason, set it off again and made us try and take off. So hopefully it won't be that bad, but I am in full control of the plane right now, which I know does not fill you with confidence. And I can see that there are questions in chat, which I will ask you in just a moment once we've landed. But I feel like landing is probably a little bit of a priority right now. We're coming in quite fine, actually. This is might be a little bit short, but now we're going to take off again. No, slow. There we go. Now, please, are we braking? We are braking. This was a smooth landing.
This is the most sober I've been landing. This is great.
This is probably the least sober I've been landing. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it helped. It worked. I don't know how I did that.
Don't forget the clap.
Yeah, don't forget the Ryanair. Oh no, not the drag queen clap. A message. Sorry, a question from I think it was Ed and Helios at the same time. Do you think Ben would make a good drag queen?
And that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for being here. I think you would. I think you would. I think Biggest is Bennis or Bennis is Biggest is a fabulous drag name, and I think throwing a wig, bit of Carmex, bit of mascara, you'd look fabulous.
What about Big Sis Bennis?
Oh wow!
It just came to me.
Would you be BSB? Did you not just want to be BB Bareback?
BB,
I think Bareback would be great. Mrs. Bareback.
Mrs. Bareback.
Mrs. Bareback, yeah.
Oh, Mrs. Bareback's here at the.
Never shave your back. You just never shave your back.
Never. But yeah, so before we go on, so what are your immediate plans right now? I'll start to taxi a little bit.
Wait, is the bus on the way? What's happening here?
I'm not sure. We've stopped on the land. There's no way for anybody to the runway is currently out of service as we just kind of have a chat on the runway.
Oh, they're like, let those careers take off again. At the moment, we are in the motion of doing baking streams again in drag, and as I mentioned, baking or charity related bits are coming up soon. A lot more events with a lot more people again. And also we might be looking at some in-person drag bits.
I was about to say, I've heard.
Which has been a long time in the run. Like literally since I moved here, I was like, oh, we'll go and start performing again. And every time it's just been like hosting things elsewhere. So we might look at something that will kind of marry the Twitch and the online people and the gaming and the drag, and we'll see what happens. Would
you like to do that like in your kitchen, or would you kind of rent somewhere and see if you could stream from there?
So all this would be events in person. Are in the works as well, and also we're looking at a series that we might be working on. I have been working on, that might not make itself to Twitch, but it might make itself to other streaming or media platforms soon. Who knows? It's gonna be a long year.
Yeah. So tell us, what are your tell us about your socials. Where can people find you? Just as we're taxiing to the location where we need to park in Ashgabat, Turkmenistan.
Well, you can find me at Dona Tarte, DonaTarte, over on TikTok. You can't find me under that at Twitter and Instagram. Someone on Twitter who likes to comment on racing once a month. He used to not talk for almost 10 years until the month he was about to change. Started commenting in Spanish about racing once a month. And at Dona_Tarte because, Dona_Tarte on Instagram and Twitter because I'm bitter.
Don't worry, I'm biggest Bennis 1 on Twitter. And they've not.
That's awful.
I thought Elon was like booting out all of these inactive accounts. Mine's not like done anything since 2010. Not even liked a tweet, not tweeted or anything. They've had the 9 people that they follow. No, not even a profile picture.
I think mine is spiting. I think mine's Elon because the moment that announcement went out, he has been commenting after another year, and I'm pissed.
We're gonna go off road to get to the place we need to park because it's.
I live over here. If you want to just drop me off.
Yeah, I'll just drop you off here. This'll do. Let's just park
right
here. Leave you in the trees.
Lovely.
All right. Well, Dona, thank you so much for joining and being the first guest back on here since 2021.
October 2021.
October 2021. It's. I mean, I'm so glad it was you. So thank you very much.
I mean, no one is better than Wreck-It Raven, but I'm a sure 17th alternative. So,
Wreck-It Raven made me stay here in Baku for a year and a half. They loved it so much. So, it's about time we moved on to Ashgabat, which
I'll never forget you. I'll never forget you, Raven.
I did Google like the correct pronunciation. It's Ashgabat.
Ashgabat.
And very close is
Lovely.
that giant. Have you ever seen the giant like pit that's just like a continuously burning
Constantly
fire?
on fire. Yeah. Is that here? Is it here?
I think it's just over the hills.
Airport.
I think it's just outside, unfortunately. Yeah, luckily it's at the end of the runway. If you don't manage to put your brakes on in time, it's straight to hell.
So when you have I don't know, biggest Bennis and Ed on the next one, are you gonna fly over it?
I need to work out exactly where it is on the map, but that could happen, and it is based on real life telemetry and all that stuff, so it could quite possibly be visible.
Oh, I can't wait to see that JPEG. I'm excited.
Yeah. They use Bing, so it's probably like in Sri Lanka or somewhere based on where they've been looking.
A .web MB, yeah, awful. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh well, thank you so much, Dona. And like I say, go and find Dona at all their socials. Just go to Dona Tarte on Twitter, Dona Tarte on Twitch, Dona_Tarte on Twitter, and you'll find them everywhere.
I'm somewhere. The Google likes me apparently. So.
It does. And thank you, and thanks to everyone for joining who was live, or if you were listening on the podcast. If you want any more, you want to listen to all of the old ones, it's at Jetstreamers.fm. I splashed the cash out and got the .fm, which is ridiculously priced, but it's a radio and things and podcasts, so it's got to be .fm. But yeah, yeah, it's very fun. And thank you to Moni for putting that site up with minutes. The speed that she does things is incredible. But yeah, you can find it at jetstreamers.fm/Spotify/Apple/YouTube or /RSS if you want that. Thank you very much for watching, and we will be back very, very soon for some more Jetstreamers. Bye-bye.
Bye.